Hello students, this is your video lecture for the week, and let's take a look at what we have going up. Hopefully you had a good week last week learning about all the stuff with the accidentals and harmonics and diatonic chromatic, and we're going to move onward because it seems like everybody's doing pretty well with all their assignments, so I don't think we need to do much review. So let's talk about what week 6 is bringing us. Week 6, we are going to really look into what this meter signature stuff is. We kind of have touched on that in the past few weeks. We're going to focus a little bit more on what these numbers mean, okay? And the meter signature, again, helps us organize rhythms as we hear them. Something I want to point out this week, I'm giving you a second quiz, and it's on accidentals and harmonics and the keyboard. So you guys can review that, and I'll have it up. I'll put it up later in the week, so it won't be up all week. Maybe the last part of the week, and I will have a video lecture discussing our first set of intervals, major and minor seconds. So let's talk about the idea. Let's get right into meter signature. And the idea of meter signature, oops, let me go back over here. And like I said, we have touched on it. And it's the idea that we got these numbers at the beginning of a piece of music. And they basically, they tell us the top number, how many beats are in a measure. And the bottom number says what kind of note gets the beat. So we're kind of been used to this so far. If we see a 4, there's something in the music that is going 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We actually feel the music moving like that. So maybe something like Mary Had a Little Lamb. Bum, 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 bum. We actually sense that. In fact, I got my little piano here. So as we move, now the way the music is organized, we sense a little stress every 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that music would be in 4, 4. Okay? Something like Happy Birthday. That feels 1, 2. Ba ba 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that would be 3. Maybe 2 could be something like a Jingle Bells. That's 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and 1, 2. So that would be 2, 4. Okay? So there's all kinds of crazy numbers that you can have. Like over here, we got the 4, 4, 3, 4, 2, 4. Those are pretty basic. But you can have a whole lot of different stuff. And no matter what kind of time signature you're looking at, the top number always means how many beats are in the measure. Bottom number always means what kind of note gets assigned the beat. So over here, if we see the 4, 4, we're going to count to 4. The beats are going 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But we're saying that every time there's a beat, we're going to go ahead and assign that beat the mathematical value of a quarter. So that's what we have here. Old MacDonald had a farm. Okay, quarter note appears on every beat. In 3, 4, on 3, 4, we have 3 beats. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to say, but every time there's a beat, let's assign it a quarter note. Here we go round the mulberry bush. Okay? And 2, 4. 2 beats. Every time there's a beat, there's a quarter note. So basically what this is saying, each measure contains a mathematical value of 4 quarters, 4 quarter notes. This measure contains a mathematical value of 3 quarters, and this measure contains a mathematical value of 2 quarters. Now some students look at this, they'll say, but there aren't 2 quarters there. I see 4 eighth notes. Eighth note, eighth note, eighth note, eighth note. Yeah, but 2 eighth notes is 1 quarter. 2 eighth notes is 1 quarter. So therefore this measure contains 2 quarters. How's this count? 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2. Yankee Doodle went to London just to ride a pony. Okay? So when we see something like 5/4, that says there's 5 beats in the measure, but every beat gets a quarter note. 9/8, there's 9 beats in the measure, but every time there's a beat, we're going to assign it an eighth note, etc., etc. You can have all kinds of combinations, all right? I'll show you this real quick. Let me go to YouTube. And if we talk about, say, something like this would be like a 2/4. Get past the ads. Here's 2/4. You sense the meter? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, you could make an argument that it's 4, 4, but let's face it, that's just 2 doubled. But here's what I mean by you could make an argument for 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the point is, when would we decide that if the music is going to be written out in a 4/4 or 2/4? What meter signature should we use? Well, just kind of like the idea with enharmonics, the looking at one note and say, well, this tone I could write as an F sharp or write as a G flat. It's all about context. What are you trying to convey in the music that is going to make the music easier to interpret? Because it's a written language, so how can you make the language as clear as possible? The reason this particular tune would more communicate its ideas better in 2/4, because that's really where the phrasing is. The phrasing falls in 2s rather than in 4s. Let's take a look at this. Okay, I'll pop it here. This is in 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. You sense that? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. I think we can sense that movement. Okay, and maybe a 4/4 might be this. Let's see. This would be 4/4. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Etc. Etc. And here's this. Not the flash. This is in 5. Here's the beat. Here's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I guarantee you, there's a whole lot of music out there that goes beyond 4, 4, 3, 4, and 2, 4. So what I also put up in this week's module, I put up, oops, there we go. I put up a repeat of this rhythm for simple meters, and I'm going to show you this real quick. So the simple meter is what we're talking about this week. The idea, and 4, 4, 3, 4, and 2, 4 are the most basic simple meters, but what happens in a simple meter is the beat gets divided by 2. So it doesn't matter if it's 4, 4, 3, 4, or 2, 4. If the music is moving 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and we feel it moving da 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and see that beat's divided into 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Here's 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. See the beat, each of these beats gets divided into 2. And here's 2, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. So that's the basic definition of a simple meter. Now, let me go back and show you this chart. I had this chart on a previous week, but I'll show it to you again. I put it up there. Here's a PDF. And here we go. So this is an example of some meter signature, okay? And we can kind of see how we count them. Here's our basic 4, 4. The whole note gets 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's our half notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. The quarters. 1, 2, 3, 4. The eighths. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and this count is still going 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But now the rhythm's going 1E and a 2E and a 3 and 4. 1E and a 2E and a 3 and 4. Here we talked about our rest last time. We rest on beat 3 here. 1, 2 and rest 4 and. 1, 2 and rest 4 and. Here we got the different combinations. We rest on beat 2, but we come in on the upbeat. 1E and a rest and 3, 4. 1E and a rest and 3, 4. Now here's 3, 4. We're only going to count to 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3 E and a. Here's the little rest. Rest and 3. Rest and 3. Rest, 2 and rest. Okay. We're going to talk about this in a second. This idea of the dot. Right now, know that a dotted half, a half note with a dot, is going to get 3 counts. 1, 2, 3. So we're still in 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So there's the rest. 2, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, and. That comes on the upbeat. 1 and a 2 E and. 1 and a 2 E and. 1. See, normally this would be 4/16, 4/16, going 1 and a 2 and a. But see how that is? That's not 2/16, that's 1/8. 1 E and a, 2 E and a. But since it's like this, it's 1 and a 2 E and. Bump, 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 bump. Here's our 5/4. We count to 5. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5. A half note with the dot. You count to 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let me show you something about the numbers. I think we did this last time, but I'll show you again. Here's 4/4. Top number says 4 beats. Bottom number says every time there's a beat, we're going to say it's a quarter note. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a quarter note. Now some students say, well, wait a second, that's not a quarter note. That's 4/16. 4/16 is 1 quarter note. 2/8 is 1 quarter note. So there's the first quarter. Here's the second quarter. Here's the third quarter. There's the last quarter. How does this rhythm move? 1, 2, and 3 E and a 4. 1, 2, and 3 E and a 4. Now it's 4/8. The top number says 4 beats in the measure. Bottom number says eighth note gets the beat. So here's the first beat. We're just going to say it's an eighth note. Here's the second beat. Well, that eighth note got split into 2/16. Here's the third beat. That third beat got split into 4 30-seconds. And there's the last beat. So how's this rhythm move? The same way. It doesn't change. 1, 2, and 3 E and a 4. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3 E and a 4. Now we change the meter. 4/16. You see? 1, 2, and 3 E and a 4. 4 beats in the measure, half note gets the beat. Every time there's a beat, there is a beat, but we're going to say that beat is a half note. 1, see there's a half note. This half note on beat 2 got split into 2 quarters. The half note on beat 3 got split into the 4/8, and that last one is 4. Now a lot of students will look at this and say, but I thought this is supposed to go 3 and 4 and. Only if you're in 4/4. We changed the bottom number. Remember, this business and this business up here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All this means is we're splitting the beat into 2. And that's what we have here. We split this beat into 2. The beat is a half note. When you split the half note into 2, you get 2 quarters. Again, you'll kind of get used to that. And I just want to show, I'll go into more detail when I give you the video for the week's assignments, but I'll just show you a little bit of what you're going to do with this stuff. There we go. So I'm going to give you other meters this week. And let's see. Take that out. And maybe a quarter rest. And should I give you the day? Yeah, let's do this. So you'll do some 3/4. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you've already done a lot of 4/4, but now you're going to have some 3/4. Well, look, we count to 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I can do that. 1, 2, go. 1, 2, rest. 1, 2, rest. Beautiful. This gets held for 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and rest. 1, 2, 3, and. You want to hear that? Rest. I could do that. Now remember, every time I play, I'm always counting in my head. the second you stop counting, you're probably going to mess up. You're always counting. So this is what your mind is doing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and rest. 1, 2, 3, and. Do another one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and. 1, 2, 3. See how easy that is? So you do some 3, 4, and then I've given you some 2, 4. You'll have 4, 4, 3, 4, 2, 4. I'm just not going to do the 4, 4 because we've already done a whole lot of that. 2, 4. And let's just let's take that out. We'll stick that in. All right, let's do some 2. Here we go. Tap, 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 tap. All right. Now we're counting to 2. Here's the first beat. The first beat got divided into 2. 1 and, 2 and, 1 and 2 and. So this is pretty easy. Listen to it. Right? We only get a 2-beat intro because it's only 2. 1, 2. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. This is easy. 1, 2. 1, rest. 1, 2. How about this one? 1, go. 1, 2, 1, rest. Oh my God. 1, 2. 1, rest. 1, 2. Rest. Okay, so you get the idea. And the last thing I want to do in this video, because I don't want to overwhelm you in this particular video, is the idea, because we're talking about with meter and the rhythms, the idea of dotted notes. Now, I kind of gave you a little bit when I talked about the half note with a dot is worth 3 counts, but what the dot does is it adds half of that note's value. Okay, so if a half note is normally 2 quarters, the dot says add half of 2 quarters. Well, what's half of 2 quarters? 1 quarter. So you're adding 1 quarter. So if you're adding 2 quarters plus 1 quarter, that's why this guy is worth 3 quarters. See? It happens there. If we put a dot after a quarter note, the quarter note is normally worth 2/8. So the dot says take half of that and add it. Well, what's half of 2/8? 1/8. So a quarter note with the dot is worth 3/8 notes. 3/8, and you have them here. See, the first quarter is these 2/8, 1 and. And then that dot is just an eighth. It's just this one. And then that and is there. So here's the 3/8. 1 and 2. That's eighths. That's the first eighth. That's the second eighth. That's the third eighth. And this rhythm goes 1, 2, and 3, 4, and dump. So you have this rhythm going. What? I'll sing it to you. Let me get the piano. There's a note G, there's a do, da, da. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bum, 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 bum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. See how that works? The dotted. Dum, bum, 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 bum. Now I see a lot of students try and guess that. It's very specific. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now here's the dotted eighth. See, that's an eighth note but with a dot. That's called a dotted eighth and 16th. See, it's got two little things. That's 16th. So normally, this would move, and so basically the dotted eighth is 2/16. That I mean an eighth is 2/16. That dot is add half of that. So this guy's worth 3/16. So normally this would move 1en to 2en to 3, 4. 1en to 2en to 3, 4. But this guy's worth 3/16. So he gets 1e and that guy comes in the last 16th. So instead of this moving 1en to 2en to 3, 4. 1en to 2en to 3, 4. This is moving like this. Bum, ba-bum, ba-bum, bum, bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. And see, they're all there. 1en to 2en to 3en to 4en to 1en to 2en to 3en to 4en to 1 and 2 and 3. And that's different. If this was just eighths, you would hear 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. But because it's a dotted eighth and 16th, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. That's how that works. So anyway, that is this video lecture. I have a couple other video lectures up, but this is the video lecture for the meter signature and the dotted intervals. Okay, your other video lecture will be talking about these intervals and the terms of expression. Okay, and then your third video lecture is going to be on how to do the assignments this week. All right, so carry on. Bye.